So are they allowed to rebut?
No, she didn't mention the individual
Nobody by
by
name?
name.
Okay.
If I was waiting, and if she did, I would have given the opportunity.
But we are the incumbents. She's given.
No, but there are other also, she mentioned the council, she meant the council in general, and there are two other council people who aren't here in the debate, so by name, if she would have said, Council President Edwards did so-and-so, we would have given you that
We are
opportunity.
a body, okay, and it's
Okay,
this information that is given.
Okay, my second question is, and this is just, background, is that everybody knows that Mount Vernon needs jobs, okay? And it's a shame, in my view, as a community citizen and a person that's been raised here, and I've lived on 7th and 3rd my entire life, and I walk down the block and people used to know me to be associated with the government. They always ask me, John, where's the jobs? John, where's the jobs? And it's a shame that Mount Vernon is the city government, between the city government and the school system, are the largest employers, okay? So there's blanket, when you look at Westchester County, the necessity for economic development to be utilized here in the city all the way around. My question to the entire panel, meaning that this is not separated by incumbent versus newcomers, is basically there are certain challenges that are faced with economic development. Burdens on the aging infrastructure is one of them. Density, we're already one of the most densest population, in terms of population, most densest cities in America, okay? So what is your opinion, what is your plan to balance these things? But the way I want it to be is I want it to be done by neighborhood, so it's not just a test of your evaluation of the process of economic development as it relates to the city, because one of your chief missions are to screen, projects that come, developers. How are you going to balance, and then you also have to know what neighborhood. So I'm going to go start, and we're just going to come down the line. I'm going to start with Marcus, and I want you to focus in on some of your views that you would use McQuestion Parkway. So what would you do to balance economic development at McQuestion Parkway with some of the things that are...
From a planning perspective, what we do know about McQuestion Parkway, the jewel about McQuestion Parkway is that there are 2 train stations. We have Mount Vernon West and Fleetwood, McQuestion Parkway. We do know that what McQuestion Parkway used to be was for light manufacturing, where you could put the goods that you make, put them on a train or on a truck and ship them down the highway. Light manufacturing isn't done in the United States anymore. It's all shipped in China and that sort of thing. So the reality is that we are Mount Vernon, that's 20 minutes away from Manhattan. So what we're seeing in the planning department, I may have an edge here because I'm a planner, is that we can build housing for people that work in Manhattan. And those people don't need cars necessarily, because they can hop right on the train, go to Manhattan, make good money, and come back. But when we build that housing, we need to have mixed use housing, meaning that there are apartments upstairs and there's some good quality stores on the lower level. So that when these people come home, they can go to the supermarket, they can shop, they can go upstairs, they can go to the coffee shop and that cleaners and that sort of thing. So we have the benefit of having 2 train stations, and we have to use that asset. It's very important. When we talk about cars, there are car sharing things out there. People don't need cars. Cars are going to be a thing of the past. You're going to share your car. So you're going to be able to pick up your car when you want to drive someplace to the supermarket, drop it off and let somebody else use it. That technology is here. We're just not utilizing it. That's what we need to do on McQuestion Parkway. Thank you.
Councilwoman Mapuzo, I would like you to focus in on economic development as it relates to the Gramerton Avenue, Mount Vernon East Corridor, in which there have been a plethora of different projects proposed in and around the Prairie, Gramerton, the Circle area. So what would be your views to balance these social challenges that we have with economic development in these particular areas?
I'm sorry? No, he's asking about the Gramerton area economic development. And I think that what he's talking about right now is the Atlantic project, is that
Well, you can
What
use a
representative?
specific example if you want to, but basically, what are your views on how these things can generate, pardon? How these things can be beneficial to the general public?
Well, one thing that we have are the train stations that are near us. And I think that right now, our communities and our planners have to rethink how they're planning cities. And I really have to concur. I think he took a lot of what my thoughts are on economic development. We have to, the planners and the zoning boards, have to change the way that they think about what communities are going to look like. If we want to plan for developments with cars, we're going to have cars. If we want to plan for developments that have bicycles, we're going to have bicycles. We need to look at transit-oriented development that are right near the train stations, of which we have to look at our resources. We have 3 tremendous resources, and those are the train stations. We are in Generation Y. Generation Y wants to go to work, they want to come home, they want to go to a restaurant, they want to go to a nightclub, they want to be able to enjoy the city, and they want the city to be safe. So that particular area is very, very important for economic development. We need more restaurants. People want to go to restaurants because they want to come home and they want to enjoy a quiet evening. They really don't want to stay in the city. They want to come home, they want to be a part of a community. If we can have that transit-oriented development coming into Mount Vernon, we would have more people, we would have more businesses, we would have more people spending money on Gramerton Avenue. And that's what we need to decrease our tax base. Thank you.
Mr. Bailey, I would like you to focus in on where you feel would best serve the public to have some of the light and heavy manufacturing areas of the city.
Okay, as I'm sure everybody can see here, I'm not a politician. I don't have an expertise in these areas. Where my expertise lies is in policing, is in what I do. So therefore, I'm going to have to defer from this question because it's no sense trying to blow smoke and mirrors and say that you should do this or you should do that. And I don't have the knowledge and I'm not adequately suited to make these decisions. So therefore, at this point, I'm just going to be truthful. I'm going to be transparent. And it's not really necessarily being transparent because you can all see that I'm not a politician. You understand? I'm an everyday citizen. Seeing that there's a problem, something is going terribly wrong with Mount Vernon, and we're just trying to get it right.
Council President Edwards, during your time as Recreation Commissioner, during your time as various positions on the City Council, there's been a lot of progress on Sanford Boulevard. What, in your view, would basically bring it to a point at which it would benefit the public further by targeting some of those areas that have not yet been developed?
Memorial Field is a big, big plus if we can get that up and running and it started, okay? And there's some misinformation that I'll try to just fit into this and into your question. There will not be a referendum item on this year's ballot because it's not legal by the state code, all right? So it won't be. It's already, the contractors have already put a space there that now an 8-lane track will not be available. But also to let you know that the Empire State Games say it's legal to have a track meet. Okay, please. If you turn it back now, you will not have Memorial Field up and running because they would have to change their plans. That's just, I'm being transparent also. If Memorial Field is up and running, that will bring development to that whole area. That's what the targets and all them, that's what they wanted. That's what they were depending on, okay? That Memorial Field would be up and running. Unfortunately, it won't be for about another year. There's a creek area on Columbus Avenue going towards Pelham, all right? That's under our comprehensive plan to build in that area. There've been some considerations to build in that area, but you have to come up with the money. The city doesn't build. The city has to attract businesses and developers to come in and build because they're the ones to put the money in. That's why you give abatements. That's why you give an incentive. That's what an abatement is, an incentive. But it's up to us as a council to make sure that they don't take all the money, all right? And this council has been looking at that we will not give pilots like they've given pilots in the past. This is a fact, all right? If we can get them to put affordable housing in and to use their monies and not use our tax monies from the state or the county, this is what we've been trying to do. This is what this council has been doing over the last year, the last 2 years to be exact, all right? Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna go away from Third Street corridor for a minute. I'm going back to Memorial Field. Again, we did not hear, or actually council didn't hear, what we wanted from Memorial Field. Again, they didn't hear the community, like always. City council never hears us. Our voices go unheard. We fall on deaf ears. We wanted a referendum. A petition went out. We got signatures for this to be on the ballot. I don't care what anybody says in regards to it's not law. We fought for it. We signed petitions. We were out there for the community for this to go on the ballot on November 4th. For you to vote 6 lanes or 8 lanes. Again, rubber stamp what the mayor wants. I don't care how many say, oh, that's a rough blow. It's a fact. And we all need to face it. So if we want to keep rubber stamping, you know who to vote for. If you want to see us go forward, you know who to vote for. I got cut off on my opening statement with that. So you, the people, need to be, your voice needs to be our community. You need to fight for what you want. You need to take back your city, not city councils. You pay for us to be in office. You pay for the mayor to be in office. We're here for you. City council, at this present time, or in prior, was not here for us. So therefore, 3rd Street corridor right now is not an issue to me. Your community voice is.
Why, no South Side? You don't care about the South Side?
Why? Because right near our, excuse me.
Yeah, I would ask that there be, that, you know, from the south side, and you have been, you know, since your time here in Mount Vernon, you're very proud about that, as am I. But I would like to know, how would you balance some of the you know, considering that there's been significant development in Fleetwood, and they are very unique and niche, you know, portion of town. What are your thoughts on, you know, some of the economic development that is remaining in that area with regard to some of the things that have been done versus some of the things proposed, etc.?
Well, I do believe that we do not need to give away tax money to attract business development. I believe that if we show the buying power that we have in Mount Vernon, and if we improve the city's image, we would attract more homeowners, and therefore we would have even more of a buying power, that they will want to come to do business here in Mount Vernon, instead of us trying to give them a carrot so that they can come and bribe them so they can come do business with us. They should want to do business with us. They should want to. We have a buying power that most communities don't have. And they know this. So they develop around us, the cities around us know this, so that we go spend our money elsewhere. So I don't think so. So I think along South 4th Avenue, where I happen to live, where there is all that neglected buildings and they've been abandoned, I do believe that we should have affordable and market-based housing. I do believe that if we end up having more low-income housing in Mount Vernon, we, the taxpayers, are going to continue subsidizing that income instead of actually taking care of the residents that we currently have. Westchester County keeps dumping their needy, and I don't have, obviously we need to take care of our own, but when they start sending the needy from White Plains or from Scarsdale or from New Rochelle, we're picking up the tab. It's not for our own residents. So for me, if we develop that corridor so that when people drive down 4th Avenue to go to Sanford, there's pride within them. They feel good about themselves. They want to come in and do business and stop their cars and go in and shop instead of keep driving so that they can go to Bay Plaza or they're going to go to the Ridge Hill Mall. So they should be aware that this development, that we are buying power and that we will, if they gave us real stores that we wanted to shop in, we'd start attracting more economic development.
And I guess you have an advantage in this, but I want to know what your views are on where are the best places in town really to bring development that's going to create jobs, and you can also relate it to other abstract things that are concerns our community, like the public library. Maybe that needs something. What are your views in these areas?
I really believe over the last 10 or so years that we missed the ball on a lot of development, where property had been sold for personal profit instead of moving forward for the city. Definitely, the whole Memorial Field should be built for the city, but that whole area, if you look at how they developed 125th Street, they developed it with what they call anchors. They had Magic Johnson movie theater on one end, and they had Pathmark. And when those two attracted people, they built in between, and now we see what 125th Street has developed over a 10 or 15 year period. Why couldn't we do it with Memorial Field? Why did we have to have a CVS? It should have been an Applebee's or something like that. I mean, why do we have to have a CVS? We put the CVS there, and then we put out we put out of business the small pharmacies that we should be supporting too. See, that's selfishness. When the city needs a restaurant, we have to leave the city for everything. Or anything Chinese food and pizza. I'm that type of politician. Chinese food and pizza. That's all we could do. We have to have that vision that we're going to bring more things, more businesses in Mount Vernon, and have a comprehensive plan. Have a comprehensive plan. All other cities are growing but Mount Vernon, and we have the best plot of land. We have the best plot of land in any other city in Westchester County. And as your elected official, Mount Vernon holds 28% of all families that's on social services, but we don't get the money from state and county that we deserve. We don't get that money. As your elected official, I will go forth even if I have to sue the state or sue the county to get our tax dollars back.
Thank you very much.